We're in the mid-conversation.
I'm so pumped, buddy. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you. God, it's such a long week. I feel like a month went by this week to me.
It feels like it's been a month. All right, but it's good to see you. It's a fresh new end of the week. The weekend is here. It's a casual Friday. Let me tell you.
Cheers, buddy.
Some cheers for another week gone by.
Yeah. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything good?
Well, here's the thing about this weekend. Oh, it's delicious. That's right. Here's the thing about this weekend. You know what kicks off around this weekend?
A May 1st, May Day?
Yeah, I guess that's a thing. That's a thing, sure. All right, but that's not really a season as much as a day. But yes, there is a thing that does happen. Is it May already? Jeez.
Yeah,
so it's basically turn to May. Well, you know what that means? It's the kickoff of the summer movie season.
Sure,
sure. And I know you are a movie buff.
Very much so. Yeah.
Let me correct myself. Let's back that up. You're a film buff.
A film connoisseur.
Oh,
if you will.
Back it up again.
If you will.
Yeah. Okay. So
cinema, if you will.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Because as you can tell, I'm your average guy, your average Joe.
Right.
And I love these summer blockbusters.
I like those too.
Sure,
let me be
you
straight.
do.
Like I told you, I like watching them. I enjoy the heck out of them when I'm watching them. After it's over, I don't remember a thing.
I'm unconvinced. Yet to go see a French film at some sort of movie house.
Yes.
I don't like
it. Sticks in the hot.
Yeah, I spell theater R-E, not E-R. So yes, that's right. So I know that you are a fancy pinkies out type of fellow when it comes to film.
Sometimes.
But summer is blockbuster season. It's kicking off. That kicks off a little early because you know how it is.
I know. That's what I was just going to jump in and say. That is that it used to be like July was the blockbuster season, but now they moved
just like
ahead.
Christmas.
Sure,
you know,
right. It starts.
Happy Halloween. Oh, it's Christmas. I'm sorry. That's what happens. Blink of an eye.
Easter in January.
Yeah. You just got to start getting that stuff on the shelves.
Sure.
So that's what they've been doing is they get these movies right on the shelves quick. Right. But we are kicking off summer movie season.
Right. So what do we got kicking it off? What's
the really big one? All right. Is it's always good to look at it if The Rock shows up, you're pretty much kicking off into the movie season.
Sure, that's when it's
So there was a little
Jumanji, but that was more the Christmas season.
Rampage just came out. So Rampage just came out a couple weeks ago. Yes. See how aware you are of things?
Okay.
The people's champ, The Rock, is jumping around with his
Is he the monkey?
Friend.
Is he
no,
he's not.
All
right.
And that's the thing.
That would be cool.
He should be.
Yeah.
But no, what they've done, it's genetically engineered monsters.
Got it.
That are growing big and whatever. And he's the human being that's friends.
Oh, so you're not rooting.
Sign language is what's one of them, but it's a big gorilla that gets big lizard that gets big, werewolf that is getting big.
Okay, but you're not rooting for the bad guys in it, because in the game you were playing the bad guys, right?
You were playing, you are the monsters, right?
Which was always cool about that.
Right. In this, no, of course, it's one of these big monster movies. You're not really rooting for the monsters as much, but it does have that element to it. Like sometimes in Godzilla, okay, obviously the biggest, greatest monster movie of all time. All right, and recently Pacific Rim.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I didn't even see that one yet, but you make a face. He doesn't like his big blockbusters.
That one was trash.
They're making a sequel. That's coming out this year.
Amazing to me.
Well,
that someone saw that and said, "We need to make another one of those."
Season.
Ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You get a lot of these big smash them up, big explosion.
But wouldn't it be interesting if you had the monsters as the bad guys as you're rooting for them?
Well, you are. That's what happens.
You are. So they're fighting the Pentagon or whatever. And
well, no. Because what happens is, what do you think happens? What happens is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So usually it's Godzilla shows up, and he's got this thing, much like certain monsters have in these situations. Jason Voorhees suffers from this. The misunderstood monster.
Yeah. King Kong totally was like that.
Yes. You can feel bad for this monster.
Sure.
Okay? Even when King Kong dies, that man says that nice thing at the end. Even this beast, blah blah.
The beauty and the I forget the line. Something the beast. The beauty killed the beast or something like that. Something like that.
Brilliance.
Yeah.
It's defade.
There we go. Yep.
So
Columbia Pictures.
Yeah. So that's what happens is that sometimes you get that where usually the monsters have to, of course, fight a bigger monster.
Right. Okay.
So like some of the thing that happens with Godzilla is it's like, if we leave him be, he will just return to his slumber. Sometimes that's what it is. Stop shooting at him.
Sure.
So that's some of it.
Right.
Of course, the enemy is evil military, can happen.
Right.
And scientists are like, no, he's coming.
Right. So you're saying if we stop attacking someone, they might stop attacking us.
Right. You know what?
Huh.
Good lesson in there.
Interesting.
A little moral high ground with these monster films. So that's some of that. That's what happens with these like big monster movies.
Got it. Okay.
You have The Rock is friends with the gorilla. All right. So as the gorilla is mutating, going whatever, he's just trying to calm him down. But sometimes the gorilla's, of course, going to freak out.
Sure.
And like
go
be
gorilla.
like the Hulk. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then I think the gorilla's going to be the one. Him and the Rock team up. Tags
in the end,
boom,
yeah. What was his move? What was Rock's move?
The Rock's move, several moves. Master of the rock bottom, up and down.
Rock bottom, that's what I was thinking.
Uranagi, also the people's champ, delivering the most electrifying move in sports entertainment.
The people's elbow. I remember.
There it is. Done.
That came back.
Okay,
All right.
there it is.
Oh, I love it. If they ended it with that.
That felt great. All right. So yeah, you got that. That's what happens. And so The Rock showed up a little early. You know, he showed up around beginning of April. But we're about to hit May, so we're getting into there.
All right.
Kids are starting to take their finals, all that stuff. Summer's on the way.
May is the big one now, it seems to be.
And the big one is this thing right here. And I'm talking about The Rock. Let's talk about Ric Flair for a minute.
Flair?
Woo! Just because, but also what he's got right there is the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Ric Flair movie. You got me all excited.
No, I know.
I thought it was a Ric Flair documentary.
That came out 30 for 30. You should watch ESPN.
Oh, I love 30 for 30.
That came out like 3 months ago. It was great.
Okay.
No, actually, a little early.
All right, I'm into that.
30 for 30 Ric Flair. Woo, it's amazing.
Got it.
So this thing is the Infinity Gauntlet. There you go.
Okay.
So these are all the Infinity Gems of the Marvel Universe. Okay.
All right.
Right there. So the Marvel Universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right. As we've seen with famously, Spider-Man gets joined finally after getting there from Sony. Starts with Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Captain America.
Sure.
It's that, well, you can't say all of them because some people will think Superman. And it's like, no, Marvel and DC. Some people do that. So you got that thing. So this kicks off where I believe Iron Man came out in like 2008. So this is a 10-year.
I went to jury duty last week.
Yeah.
And they played Iron Man like on like a little TV to keep it from getting angry.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
That's so you get that in-flight movie?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So Iron Man came out. So this is 10 years in the making. I believe 18 or 19, what I will say, films. Some of them, yes. Okay. Of the Incredible Hulk, getting Spider-Man in there. Guardians of the Galaxy gets involved. Doctor Strange.
I've seen most of those.
Yeah. So all of those movies now, all right, are going to culminate into kind of what they did with, I believe, who did this? Like Harry Potter, probably, where at the end it was the last one, part 1. And then the last one, part 2. So now this one is
Twilight
split.
did that too.
Oh, very good to know.
Yeah.
So
because they needed to stretch that one out.
That's right.
Like, come on, let's get more money out of this.
That's right.
Come on.
Those long deadpan looks. Let me tell you, you watch that girl use a bottle of ketchup. It's the funniest thing in that movie. It's a squeeze bottle, but she's doing this. She knows how to act. So we got Marvel movies kicking it off right now with the Infinity War. I'm excited. I'm going to see it. It's a big deal. Again, nothing like this has ever really been done, where you've got this kind of franchise and all these actors that commit to this 10-year plan, and it's this whole thing of, again, almost 20 movies that are now going to have this amazing crossover.
Right.
So it's exciting. So this is, I think, what really does kick it off this year.
Okay.
So I'm honestly like more interested in this than any movie, I think, but when it comes to these comic films, you got a lot of them. Sometimes I don't know why they get put in a separate category. They're just action movies, right? So action movies, fun, one of the most fun things. They're very funny as well. So they do a good job of that. So that's what's kicking it off. I'm excited. So that's the summer movie season kickoff.
What about the Deadpool? Are you into that? Isn't that coming out?
Deadpool's coming out, so that's going to be Deadpool 2's coming out. I believe, I'm not sure if that is a summer one. I don't know if that's coming out. Like how quick it is.
I saw recently, but that might. But sometimes they do.
Halloween?
Yeah, they do trailers for like 2 years in advance. I feel like now. Yeah.
So I don't want to go on and on about what movies are coming out.
Sure.
Because again, it's not like we're fucking doing nothing, like explaining these things, giving them thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what's coming out.
Right. No idea.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to know. You can go to
on,
entertainmentweekly.com or something. Or
everyone does that sort of thing.
Sure.
It's not hard. There's a new one every other week now.
Fandango.
Yeah.
I saw Death of Stalin last week.
Really? No, that's a big one. That's actually.
Yeah.
That's a big time mainstream movie. How was that?
Was it Death of Stalin?
How was it? Yeah.
It was great. It was really funny. It was the guy who created Veep. You've seen the show Veep? So same style, political satire, really dark, super dark, like to the point where they're all arguing who's going to take over for Stalin, and he's dead on the floor, and you hear people just getting assassinated in the back, and it's like one of those kind of movies, but it's funny.
Spoiler alert.
It was almost like a he was a bad guy. Yeah, it was almost like it reminded me of like Marx Brothers. If they were in the Soviet communism era, at its worst, when mass executions were going on, but with that kind of zany vibe to it, so it was cool. It's funny.
Superheroes. That's what,
yeah,
that's
just
what
saying,
I'll tell you.
They're both good. Yeah. So let's talk about some past blockbusters.
That's what I'm more interested in, because I don't want to sit and review movies and sit and talk
I think
about
a lot about,
about.
I was thinking a lot about today, like older movies and how many, like different stages of my life, like what was going on at that time.
Yep.
There's some that it's like very, very clear.
I remember getting picked up from school. It was like 7th or 8th grade, whatever. It was 1989. I know that much.
A man I didn't know. It was a white van. And
No. All right. Getting picked up is a big deal. My mom comes to pick us up from school, which doesn't always happen, to pick up me and my friends, and we went straight to see Batman. And
the first one.
Yeah, which I, of course, you're a kid.
Yeah.
So it's not, and it's different back then, because late 80s, right? Because that's when Batman comes out.
88, I think.
89, right?
Yeah.
So Batman comes out. It's not like I'm watching the internet every day with an update, trailers for trailers.
Sure, you don't know anything.
Photos.
I think the trailers were just the sign.
You just got a sign. You got
yeah.
that, and you got one trailer.
Yep.
By that one narrator guy in that one format of a trailer in the 80s. Like, that's all there was.
Yep.
So it's different because it is just like they're going to make a Batman movie, and then, oh, wow, really?
And no one
some year
knows
later
it
or so,
until you see
it's
it.
just like, it's going to come out.
Right. Whereas you've read, now it's like you've read 12 reviews already of the movie and heard every twist.
There have been times.
Hard not to.
Yeah, there have been times when I've known every day of a production of like when Spider-Man was getting made.
Yeah.
Because it was around like 2000 something, and internet's around and all that, and I was a big, insane fan of it. And you could get an update every day now, and that's the world we live in now. Where you're either getting a tweet, here's an on-set pic from all the actors, all this stuff.
Sure.
The constant update, they scrutinize everything.
Yeah,
They scrutinize
definitely.
the trailers, they scrutinize the costumes, costume designs, like from the second to second to second.
Sure.
Yeah. It's as opposed
And
to.
it is, I don't know, at least for me, it could be just because I'm older, but like that excitement of like this. And they used to have like one big movie too. I remember there was like every year there was
That's
like.
another big thing that I noticed about like the industry and the business of all this stuff. Much like everything has happened, again, we also used to have like one style of like juice box or icy beverage, and now there's like everything.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
we've got more. I mean, just look at the Reese's Company. There's Reese's peanut butter
I
cups
know.
and M&Ms.
What's the one? M&Ms is everything. M&Ms is like, it gives me
Orange
anxiety when I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
No,
good.
thank you.
I love orange creamsicles, but not M&Ms. That doesn't work.
Not a fan.
Yeah. So yeah, everything.
Yep. So back then, you had the summer blockbuster.
Sure.
Hollywood wasn't even as big, and it just was different. And the idea of like a sequel was sometimes unheard of.
Yeah. Well, I think overseas was less of an issue.
Of
I think now
course.
it's like they're almost gearing movies towards the overseas markets in a lot of ways, because that's where they're making more. They're making a lot more money in China than they are in the American audiences. So I mean, you have to think about that. Well, how is this going to play?
They will shoot separate scenes for things like a kid's looking at a list of like songs he wants to listen to.
Okay, and they'll put
in America it's these bands.
Yeah.
I think and that is Captain America, I believe that.
Right.
And in Europe it's like the Beatles, and they made a different list.
Okay.
But
because we hate the Beatles in America.
I know, right? But one thing about what you said with China, I remember reading a thing a few years back where because movies used to not be allowed. Like our American cinema was part of what was the problem.
Right.
They would not allow it. Now they're like, yes.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia just played their first movie last week, American movie. So that's
really
that's already happening.
You know what else happened?
What?
Saudi Arabia just had the greatest Royal Rumble because WWE went to Saudi Arabia and put on this gigantic pay-per-view event.
Oh, is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, and it's groundbreaking, and it's a big deal. They're getting a little flack because the women weren't allowed to go. So we're like, why would you go? Why would you?
Yeah.
It's like, well, they're just allowing wrestling. Like, we couldn't have it all, but this is the first step.
Plus, that's like silly. Would you really think that would be cool? Like
I
that
know.
I mean, that's going from like 0 to 100. Like,
Right.
You gotta. Progress comes in small steps.
And that's exactly right. So find out that the first. What do we know? What it was? What was the first American movie there?
I forget what it was.
Oh, man.
I can't remember. I wish I looked it up.
All right. Well, it's all right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested. I'll look it up later. I will.
Yeah,
because that's fascinating.
somebody's listening around the pool. If you want to look it up and put it in like a comment section or something like that, email it to me.
Yeah. Also, if someone's listening by the pool, keep it down. Keep it down.
Yeah. So the straw. That's all I get. That's all I can hear.
I'm just supposed to hear by these pools is sucking, whether it's day or night. So, like, that is fascinating to me because I'm more obsessed with the industry of it. Like, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do like to watch how things have like multiplied and bubbled, and the way comedies are even treated.
Right. Yeah. As we were talking about that, the kind of state of like film comedy or comedy movies.
Now, people don't go to the movies to see comedies as much because they are like, well, movies are expensive or movies are this.
Right.
I
so
save
you want to see a
because you need to see that big.
Yep.
I don't need to see just these two people.
I want to see the 3-hour epic about gladiator kind of stuff or whatever. Yeah, totally. That makes sense. If you're gonna, a lot of people only see 1 or 2 movies a year. I don't see that many as I used to.
Do you really think it's that few?
Yeah. There's been years where
honestly, I've gone through.
I know people who haven't been to a movie in like 6 years.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It is expensive, and some people just aren't that into it. They'll watch it when it's on.
And then others make it a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. So
let me ask you this. Actually, you probably have because you like fancy. I don't want to say snob. You like fancy movies.
I like fancy movies. I like it a little dressed up.
Have you ever gone to the movies alone?
Like that Death to Salon where I just said
you just went by yourself.
last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know people, myself. I've never gone to the movies.
No?
myself.
No. Dozens of times.
Yeah, I've never gone to the movie. I'm always like, I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
See, mine was because no one likes my movies.
Right. You just gotta go and it's fine.
No one's gonna see this movie. So.
My sister told me a funny story where she mixed up a date. Okay, and went to the movies, and it's like, oh, we were supposed to go next Friday. And
I thought you meant like the wrong person, like a sitcom or something.
No.
I'm Chad. Yes, I'm Chad. Like, I went home as Chad, and then the other Chad was sitting there.
She's got to go to 2 different theaters to be on the same date.
Yes.
And watch 2 movies, and then she screws it up at the end by confusing the plot.
Yep.
There's a Big Bang Theory waiting to happen. So. No, what she did was she was supposed to meet friends to go to the movies, and it's like she screwed up. It was the next week. So she was there, and she bought she's like, and she did it.
Okay.
It's this thing that she was always afraid of. And she's like, yeah, and it was fine. She was always afraid to go to the movies by herself.
It's awesome.
And she's like, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's
and
great.
now especially.
I bring my own snacks in my bag.
No one's whispering in your ear. Take you out of the moment.
It's fine,
That is funny.
Yeah. It gives you gives me something to tell Jess about.
Yeah. You know what else I noticed? A lot of this is also, and again, everything is an avalanche. It's like it used to be the Happy Meal toy.
Tearing through this thing.
Yeah, calm down. Slow down.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It used to be the Happy Meal toy.
Right. That was the thing with, I remember Batman Returns, is they were really mad because it was so dark, and they had like a toys thing set up, and like, we can't give toys to kids because they can't see this movie. It's got machine guns and the whole thing.
But it's penguins holding machine guns.
Yeah, it's
that
true.
Count for something anymore?
There's some dark scenes in the penguins lair.
Returns is one of the best.
I think it's great. Yeah, it's
Shelf fiber.
Oh my God, yeah.
Forever.
Yep, sure is. He's in the pantheon.
The pantheon. Oh my goodness. But and now we live in a world again. Remember that time? Like that was when Batman came out. And, there was a Catwoman. Now there've been 4 Catwomen. It's like And then you go back to that West, it's like there's 7. Like
right.
That's the difference.
What's the one like blockbuster that comes to mind when you think of like summer blockbusters?
Independence Day.
Me too. Me too. It's absolutely.
Maybe it's when we grew up.
I think it was like slam bang. Because I was looking recently and it was like, wow, this was like a critical failure, and it came out like in terms of just like it got really bad reviews. I didn't care. It didn't matter.
It did great.
Right.
That was still a time where it got reviews from critics at newspapers that thought that whatever.
Yeah.
And now look where we are, because that's when you have those people that are probably more educated critics that are saying like, there's just explosions and blah blah.
Yeah, or
who would like this, and now that's what we live in.
Right.
That's how everything is now.
Yeah. Or we're just like, this plot is totally derivative of like this other movie. It's pretty much the exact same movie, which is usually the case. But yeah, that was totally a big one, because Will Smith was like the guy for a while. It was like 3 or 4 years.
That was one of Will Smith's first roles, big roles.
Yeah, true.
If not his first. Big movie role.
Oh, that's true. Movie. Bad Boys might have been before it. Maybe.
Was Bad Boys before that? I don't know.
It was pretty. Yeah, he blew up pretty quick.
But
I don't know.
A Will Smith movie's always great.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
come on. I love it.
That Bright one. Did you see that?
Didn't see that. That was that straight to Netflix movie, which is the world we live in now, right?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It was. People liked it. I mean, I'm not the person to go with this. There was a line of dialogue where he says "Fairies' lives matter," and I was like, nope.
Off we go.
Yeah. I've had about enough.
Wow.
Did anyone write this thing, or did they just come? Oh God.
Look at it, kills them. It's like kryptonite.
So bad.
He hates it so much.
Yeah, I do. A fairy cop. I can just imagine the guy pitching it to a studio. It's like a cop movie, but it's like Lord of the Rings. We'll combine them, and he's hunting orcs, and he's in the modern day. I love it. kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Get me Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly. They had the money to pay Will Smith, and so
it's a different economy.
It is.
But that's what it's all about. It's business.
So I was looking up a list of like the biggest blockbusters. You want to talk about those a little bit? Because I bet we could kind of go. So I'll kind of run through a few of them that we probably haven't seen. So what do you think number one would be? Because I had a guess, and I was wrong. Biggest blockbuster.
Titanic.
Yeah, okay. I thought it might have been Star Wars. That was my guess. This is in adjusted dollars.
So this is all for okay. So it is just like not. So it's not dollar equals dollar. It's dollar equals check mark.
Yeah.
Like this sold this many check marks.
Sure.
Because it's not about money.
Right. Because the money's obviously going to be more now because it's inflated.
Right. So this is just like.
Yeah, just all together.
I'm gonna say. Titanic, final answer.
Yeah, okay.
Final answer.
Not so much. It's on there. But number one, Gone with the Wind.
What?
It made close to $2 billion in today's money.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
America's a racist place.
Why is Gone with the Wind really racist?
Oh yeah,
we had a poster of that in my basement growing up, but it's only because my mom liked that movie. And
the sequel, my mom loves it too.
Yeah.
Jess loves it. There's a lot of devotees too, but it was more the sequel, Scarlet, that was like super racist. Like, I mean, there
was a sequel to Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, Scarlet. It was the book too. They're based on Margaret Mitchell. Or something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but so I mean, it's a movie about the Civil War. So. But it's all about white people. Like they're kind of.
I honestly have no idea. Don't spoil it for me.
Okay, yeah.
Wait a minute.
You don't want to see the 4-hour.
I don't want to know if he gives a damn. Okay, I don't want to know. Don't spoil it for me. I'm gonna get to it. I will watch it. I swear.
The sequel, I do give a damn. They wanted to, it needs to be more positive.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so number one.
We tested with audiences and they wanted.
They didn't want him to give a damn. Yes, that was number one.
Okay, well that's unsurprising, in a way.
I was surprised.
Well,
but when you look at
it. idea of we will never have another Elvis, we'll never have another.
True, and I think it was how many movies was it competing against too?
Right, and it's that, and also it's. You have this many people that all look at one thing, right? And that happens, like you say. So there's Gone with the Wind's evidence. And then everyone looks at the moon landing, and everyone looks at the Super Bowl is one of our last community TV events. Last MASH, last Seinfeld. But that's the point. The last Seinfeld wasn't still probably not as much as the last MASH because everyone only had this many options.
Yeah,
so everyone saw this and was a fan. Now again, we all live in the bubbles, and that's why the movies are the way the movies are.
Segmented.
They're very segmented. A lot. I don't think a lot of people think they can shoot for. This is going to go for everyone.
I think the Marvel movies are probably the closest.
They might be the closest because it's
Pixar.
Again,
I think Pixar is probably.
Pixar counts it's a different thing because it's animated. It is.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, you got kids, adults, so that pretty much covers everybody. If you hate Pixar movies, you're
a monster.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And not one of those good ones from Pixar.
No, not the cute ones.
Yeah. With the amazing fur that looks so real.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
That's the thing. So, just to jump in, I'm assuming Avatar is on
Avatar's on there. So 2 is Star Wars, made about $1 billion and a half. I don't know if that counts the re-release. I'm assuming the original. I'm assuming
they can't count every time.
Right, because then you could just keep releasing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And even Gone with the Wind, I'm sure Gone with the Wind.
Thumb on the scale.
Gone with the Wind plays the loft. I'm like, did they go? Oh, we've got another 80 for Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, we almost got it. We're coming for you, Star Wars.
Yeah. Every time.
That's all they're going for. So that was 2. Okay. So Star Wars, we don't need to go into that. That's a whole thing.
For A New Hope.
Yeah. So that was before we were born.
77?
77, you're right. Yeah. So we've got E.T. That was my first movie I ever saw.
E.T., that reminds me of my sister a lot. The E.T. is one of her favorite movies. Annie as well reminds me of my sister a lot.
Okay.
And that's that era of movies, because I loved E.T.
Yeah, me too.
Again, another one of these phenomenal films for children. That is so inappropriate.
I know, it's frightening. Yeah.
I have
the guys in the suits that come from it. Yeah.
Well, and then that's why later on, then there's the super PC controversy that brings up.
They don't have guns, right?
And they took out the guns to make it walkie-talkies because that movie, much like the Goonies and Monster Squad, and these things that are like, these are kids movies, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, true.
He gets a blowjob from a ghost. Like,
that's true.
Yes, it's a very, and she's all.
Mom, what is he doing? Eating.
Yeah, nothing. He's having a dream. Like. That's happening. They smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So the thing about it, and in Goonies and the one we're just talking about, like that's the thing. They're more adult. Like they let things happen. And one of the things that happens is first, E.T. gets completely drunk, and that kid gets drunk. That would never.
Oh yeah, a child gets drunk. Yeah, that would never fly.
I have. The kid's language is always great.
Yeah, that's true.
I have an action figure.
I mean, did you ever watch that and like, I want to get drunk like that boy?
No, because that's all the assumptions are. Which is what people are like, oh, because it can't be our bad parenting. It's got to be blame E.T. Blame E.T. and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, all right, I gotta get back to work.
Right, that's just what it is. In my home, everyone's got some liquor around the house. I have an action figure of drunk E.T.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's got to be laying by the liquor. An animal from the Muppets.
Oh, cool.
Because that's what you want.
Yeah, for sure.
A party animal.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's interesting that, like, again, going back to that point, but also I just want to remember something I was going to say about Pixar. Avatar and Pixar have this thing, and probably Gone with the Wind a bit too. They got a lot of attention because everyone has to go see this new technology.
That's true. Avatar for sure.
Avatar.
I mean, that was the only one I've seen so far that
didn't matter
that utilized the 3D the best.
Was the
still,
first.
I still think it's the best that utilized that into the movie, because I feel like everything since it's like, oh, one scene where the thing is flying at you, whoa. But this was like the whole. You felt like you were in the world, which is really cool.
Yeah, I do specifically vividly remember like when they're walking through the plants.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like that was amazing.
Which is weird because I've never seen that movie again.
I've seen it a few times.
Have you?
Yeah, I like it.
I never watched it again.
Oh.
They just did. They commissioned like 4.
Yeah, but I think they're like into like 2035 or something.
Exactly.
Like the number 5 is going to be like shot in space.
Straight up virtual reality.
Like you download your brain into the movie. They're already working on.
Where it's like play Avatar and now you're a character. Yeah. Everything changed.
Tell you what they're doing now, which this was my idea at least a decade ago. They're doing choose your adventure movies. I had this idea of shooting a movie, all these different alternate scenes, and you could, because you play at home and you choose where you want the characters to go. And they're doing that now. It's like some kids movie that's coming out.
See, now I think that, because I like that idea, I think that the way that has to be successful, it can't be like 64 alternates. It's like
because it'd be expensive to make all these alternate versions.
I think you got to expensively go for it. I think you have to make there are like 1,000 iterations.
That's what I was thinking too.
Like,
so like you talk to people like, you got that to happen? Like, and you start to hear about these little things.
Like so like you have to make it big enough.
I suppose if you made the plot quick, and then you so it does turn out to be maybe an hour and a half or something. So you just make it kind of a simple plot.
Yeah. But I think you make it so that you can have a literally completely different movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be where you have 5 moments.
Maybe
that are
even
all shared.
a different genre. Maybe it goes into. It's a romantic comedy.
Well, you can't do that.
You just
children.
No. I was thinking of this as being like an adult movie. Like he's on a date. It's like. Do you run over somebody in their car and now you have to hide the body or something? It turns into like something completely different, right? Wouldn't that be interesting?
True.
So
they also just this year or last year did the first first-person action movie, like a video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yep. It's interesting. You're just watching hands and whatever.
Yeah, okay.
They've
never done that before? I feel like they've done.
Not a full-length motion picture. Like they did a full-length movie. They've done YouTube videos like that.
Okay.
Where it's like a lot of parkour.
I remember The Beach. Remember the movie The Beach? Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Beach. No.
Leo? Oh, okay. That was his first post-Titanic role. And I remember I was at a point where I was like, Leo, screw him, because he was in.
You're at a point because guess what? I never saw Titanic and still have never seen
Really?
Titanic.
Titanic's great.
I'm sure.
It's like one of the few movies that got me to tear up a little bit.
Back when I was young, I used to be a little anti, and by a little I mean a lot.
Yeah.
And I was a team player.
Yeah.
WWE, not WCW.
Okay.
Warner Brothers, not Disney.
Right.
Star Trek, hated Star Wars.
So what was your anti-Leo? Did you like?
It was.
You were Kirk Cameron, Team Kirk Cameron.
Oh, of course, Team Kirk all day, growing pains nonstop. He's a lunatic.
Yeah, I know.
No. It was just because that was so mainstream. I almost didn't go see Lord of the Rings, but by then I had started.
Oh, okay. So you came around.
Because I was just like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of people's problem. They're anti. They're default negative. They're anti-popular. They're anti-mainstream.
Right.
Anything mainstream is look at they can incorporate this and sell at this.
Sure. Yeah.
I had a lot of that.
Right. And a lot of it is crap, but it's like. Not like it for the right reasons, not just because.
Get over it.
So I didn't see The Beach when it first came out because of that, because I was like, I don't want to see this guy in a movie. And I saw it years later, and it's like a really cool movie. But there is a scene where I think takes acid or something, but he's like in a video game, and he's kind of there's these guys on the island. They're trying to kill him, and he's kind of like hiding out. It's a pretty cool little segment they do.
I didn't even know there was anything like. I have no idea. Here's the other thing. I just fall for titles. I'm like, what is that beach movie about? I'm like, video? Yeah. Wait, is it a video game?
Oh, was he just sitting by the beach with his shirt off?
Some romantic nonsense in slow motion.
No, that's a good one.
That's funny.
Yeah. You want to keep going on the list? Next was Titanic, actually. It was number 5. Number 6 was the 10 Commandments. You ever seen that?
We talked about the 10 Commandments just recently this Easter.
Really?
Because my horrible nightmare of a friend, Carlin Ross, was visiting me. Okay? Because he was visiting me because we were going to go to WrestleMania to go see Ric Flair retire. All right? And he came, and it was during Easter, and he's like, we have a tradition in my family where we watch the 10 Commandments.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's like a 4-hour movie,
it's a film.
too.
Yeah, but so what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's Easter. So
oh, yeah, sure.
We and there's another time when he introduced me to the agony and the ecstasy, which is that is him as Michelangelo.
Okay. Charlton Heston
as Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel.
I can't quite get it. Is he all angsty?
He tasks me. No, wait, that's Khan. I'm sorry. No, yeah, he goes like, there's a point where he's struggling, and he's working for like the Pope, right? But the Pope is not like the Pope. He's a general. It's an army.
It's the Pope. It's when the Pope was. They were like a mob, like organized criminals.
So there's a point where not to spoil it for you, but you know.
I've had time. Yeah.
So he's paying attention. He hates it.
Yeah.
So he's sitting at something.
Does he have an Italian accent? No. Does he even bother with
just John? What he's Moses. What is he? What is he talking about? Moses? Middle Eastern? No.
That's true. He's got a shotgun.
Yeah. What's his name's in that movie? Come on, Nancy.
Yeah.
Where's your Messiah now? Like, they weren't exactly worried about, getting it totally down. So, in the agony and the ecstasy, he's painted and he hates it because he's an artist.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what the movie is. The agony. Oh, I'm trying to draw,
right.
and I suck.
Get it.
Okay, I can't get it. And so he's at some, like a bar, I guess, but it's a big outside thing. Everyone's drinking the big barrels of wine, right? Mm-hmm. And he's going like, oh, this wine isn't good, blah, blah, blah. So the guy goes, oh, the wine's not good. If the wine is sour, you throw it out. And he smashes the barrel. So then, the wine's pouring out. So then everybody, like lunatics, they don't care. Yeah. They want the wine. Yeah. All right? And then Michelangelo has an epiphany. Yes, if the wine's set. So he goes back to the painting and destroys it.
One day montage.
Yep, and he destroys the painting.
To like a Van Halen song.
Yeah. He disappears into the mountains at a point. Okay, and the Pope is getting people in there. They're going to execute him. Yeah. All right, and then he has a vision from God, and he says, "Here's what."
That's the ecstasy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carlin would call me when I'm talking about work, because again, cartoonist, all that. And I used to work for a grocery store making signs, drawing adorable vegetables. So I'd be talking, geez, these people, when they come in, and the district manager comes in, and he says, "This is red. I want it to be blue." And then 3 months later, he comes in, "What are you doing? This is blue. I want it to be red." Okay. And that was their job. And I'm just like, "Oh, Carlin." And he would just go into Charlton Heston. He would just go, "The broccoli, it tests me, for the Lord speaks to me through the asparagus. The Lord is telling me and moving my hand." And I'm like, "Shut up." And then if something went really well, he would, "Oh, the Lord speaks to me. It's gone so well, I feel great."
That's kind of like a confirmation bias thing, right?
It's the agony of creating art. And the ecstasy, again, your wife does art. You know what it's like. It's the agony and the ecstasy.
The Lord speaks to her all the time, too. She comes in every time.
That's right.
You won't believe this.
It's an epiphany. And that movie, it works a little bit like an office comedy. I'm not even lying to you.
Oh, okay.
Because Michelangelo's working for the Pope, and his boss is mad at him because he's doing whatever.
So he's got,
and then they're on like,
"Damn it, Michelangelo!"
And he's like, "I'm gonna behead you."
Need those reports.
He does, because he wants to see what he's gonna do. Get to work. And he's doing this against his will.
Right.
Like Michelangelo doesn't want to do this. He wants to be a sculptor. He's like, "I'll let you sculpt,
So he was
but you have to do this for 16 years or something like that. 8 years, 6, something like that.
Right. Yeah, it was like a decade of your life. Yeah.
He does get into it, and yes, a decade of his life.
And then
that's
and then
so that is.
And then he was a
thing.
Ninja Turtle.
Okay,
So he was immortalized.
Yes, and my favorite Ninja Turtle, Party Dude.
Sure, he's a party dude.
We may have discussed this. What Ninja Turtle are you? I think you. Who did you love?
I think I said Michelangelo.
Did you say Michelangelo? I was so happy.
Yeah.
Party
That's the one. Yeah,
that's the way to be. Michelangelo. Let's do a cheers. And again, orange from Michelangelo. There he is, the best Ninja Turtle.
That was thirsty today.
So, The Ten Commandments, we watched that, yes.
Yep. So
excellent film, comes down from the mountaintop. 10 Commandments.
I know that scene, you know.
Do you?
I do. Do you know it in all its glory?
Let me tell you, he says, I'll be back. I'm sure it's that film. I can swear.
Yeah.
It's that movie.
The Revenge of Moses. Charlton Heston, too, would be perfect.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah, sponsored by the NRA.
Love it.
All right, next up we've got Jaws.
Oh, amazing.
So, you know, East Coast, New England, that was Cape Cod that took place.
I thought it was Long Island. Is it Long Island in the movie?
I thought it was Cape Cod.
Or is it like fake Long Island? Because I think it's like Amity Harbor, Amityville, something like that.
I always thought it was the Cape.
Yeah?
Maybe you're right, though.
This is probably just like a New York and New Jersey guy.
Maybe like they don't even say where it is in the movie. Yeah. I've heard
the Giants play here.
Yeah. Boston Braves, huh? Yeah. So that way, you know, that caused my mom hates the beach. We never went to the beach as kids because of that.
Because of Jaws.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I never realized. Yeah. My grandmother also never showered when no one else was home because of Psycho.
Because Psycho.
Yeah. Isn't that wild that had that level of
it affects them.
Like lifetime too.
Well, that's why you do wonder. Let's pretend if the zombie apocalypse happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it happened in the 50s, which you know it does in you know whichever George A. Romero's
sure.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
It's like, oh, what has happened? You know. Mm-hmm. People at home, they mentally wouldn't fathom like the things we're seeing or dealing with now. Whereas now, people and fans of this, half my friends have 3-hour conversations about what to do in the zombie apocalypse. That if it did happen, everyone's so prepared to be Mad Max almost.
Yeah, that's true.
Back in the
people
50s,
want it.
like
There's people who are begging for that.
I know.
Yeah.
But back then, you couldn't fathom it. That's why these things they blow people's minds. That's why I think that shark was too much to handle.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's insane.
This is kind of the unknown aspect of it. Yeah.
This is what happens when you let Fox become a network. The world crumbles.
Exactly.
It's just been going down since Married to Children. They knew they were right.
Yeah, so Jaws was like, that's seen as like the beginning of the blockbuster. That was like the one, you know, that's the beginning of that. Next one, we can go quickly past Dr. Zhivago. Any?
I never did see Dr.
Me neither. Been getting around.
That's a film. You should see it.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours long. That's the thing is most of these movies
on Patton. Amazing.
Yeah, Patton's good. I mean, it's just
Lord of the Rings. It's 97 hours.
I've got a lot of movies I need to see, and that one isn't. It's on the top of my list.
I'm still halfway through Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I started 6 years ago.
Yeah, still working through it.
No, I got through it. I fell asleep 4 times on 9 Line.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. I liked those.
Yeah. They pick up in the sequels, but it's a lot of walking.
It is a lot of walking. Have you ever tried to read the books? Imagine reading about people walking. It's miserable. Yeah, it's really tough. So Dr. Zhivago, the only thing I know about it, it was in an episode of Home Improvement where Jill was trying to watch Dr. Zhivago and Tim, I think, screwed it up. He got her like Dr. Giggles or something, and then he went to talk to Wilson and was like, you know, what do you go to the doctor? Get a doctor, and he got a doctor over probably. I think it's how it went. I don't know. But she was trying to but she was trying to watch Dr. Zhivago.
We got a whole synopsis.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, and there's a big one I should mention.
What?
And this is huge. Jurassic Park. Because that was 95. I remember that was like prime.
And that was right there. When was
teens.
Independence Day by memory?
It had to
93 or 94?
I feel like Independence Day was after Jurassic Park. Because I feel like Jurassic Park's
when was Jurassic Park?
I think it was maybe 93. 94 maybe.
They're very close because I
just feel like Jurassic Park.
It was on the same level.
That was when digital
right
graphic it
was a big deal.
That's when it became like we're in a whole new world now.
The scene where the girl's hanging on the raptors under her. Raptors under her.
Mr. Raptor.
Mr. Raptor. And she looks up. The stunt double looks up.
Okay.
And I remember watching an Entertainment Tonight where they CG'd like the girl's face on it.
Oh, really?
And it's like. It's quick, and you don't notice it. It was a big deal to do that.
CGI. That was like the beginning.
But the best thing about Jurassic Park was it was still practical effects. That T-Rex was real.
Well, I mean, the scene you remember, right, is the water that, and that was just a cup of water, and you got so much out of that, though. This sense.
Do you want to know? And again, I remember this from Entertainment. I remember seeing it because I loved it. This is the age where it's like, wow, that's a big deal. Up. And I love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs!
They'll be back.
It's one of my favorite things that I feel like I said once to a friend. I'm like, we'll never get to yell that. We'll never be like, dinosaurs! Like, right, and away you go. No, with Jurassic Park, it was, what was I going to say about it? When I was growing up, it was an important part of like that time with Independence Day, around the time. So it's about them early 90s.
I wonder which is before, but it's mid-90s for sure.
Yeah. And it was still some practical effects, still some of the new effects. You know, that was a big deal.
But it had like good acting in it too. Like that was like a good movie, you know. What? Yeah, Goldblum was amazing. It was so funny.
He's still setting the precedent of Goldblum.
He is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, now I remembered. The thing about the Entertainment Tonight thing I was talking about, I remember seeing some of the behind the scenes. Do you know that was one of the hardest effects was to get the water to do the ripple the way they wanted it?
Oh, really?
Do you know how they did it?
No.
So no visual. Well, that stuff's practical. Yeah. They had to gut that Jeep. All right.
Okay.
And they strung a big string under it like a guitar, so they could pluck it.
Oh, and the vibration
did it exactly how they wanted it, because they could not figure out how to get it to
because I was thinking that even as I was doing this, I'm like, did they drop water in there?
Nope.
But then you would have seen.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah. And it was one of the more like, we got dinosaurs running around.
Yeah, I know. They're probably the guy shooting this. Probably like, do we need this scene?
They were.
Really?
I'm sure they want to cut it 70 times. But then that is the most important thing that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that was a big deal then. I'm sure since then they figured out different stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But that's pretty genius.
Yeah, it's iconic.
I remember the summer of. I think I saw it 3 times over the summer. You know, that's another thing what you used to do is repeated. Right? Yeah, and that was Star Wars. Well, that was the start of that. People seeing it multiple times.
Do you know what your most seen movie in theaters is of all time?
Kill Bill, the first one.
Oh!
I saw that like 5 times.
Yeah, I think mine is 5 times. And it was, I believe it's either Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, because I wound up doing, and I love that one. Yeah. I do. But Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that in the theater. I saw it when it came out. But that was a great movie.
This looks funny. This looks like
that was a good one.
And that was one of the things that actually ushered zombies back in. Was Shaun of the Dead?
It did, yeah, for sure. And the whole like horror comedy genre, which is kind of bigger. Yeah.
And I remember I wound up being like, "Have you not seen that?" And I'll go again. And then someone saying, "Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, because it was one of those word of mouth type movies, because it wasn't a big Blockbuster or anything.
Right. And that's actually a big important part of like what some of this conversation is. It's hard to be a Blockbuster for more than 3 weeks or a month now, because time just goes by. Whereas like, that's why when Frozen did that, it was a big deal. Frozen did go away, but then came back, and it was because of the song.
Right.
You know, it dipped, and then came back, and all of a sudden it's #1. And it was because of that song, and that doesn't happen a lot anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they all just take their turns and negotiate dates. It's very much this big political game of entertainment where that's how it all works. And they all take turns because they know that, oh, we're releasing this. Okay, well then we can't release our thing until at least 2 weeks later. So we got to release like a comedy that's a romantic comedy to go against this. For the people that don't want to go to this, we'll do a romantic comedy. And then there's an independent horror movie. Like
strategy for
strategize different genres based on different things.
Totally.
It is interesting because it's like being an air traffic controller the way they do it.
Yeah, right.
They really do it.
Right.
It's the industry itself.
So the Jurassic Park, I got a quick story for the summer. That summer I saw it 3 times. We used to go vacationing. I used to go with like my aunts and cousins and stuff. My parents didn't go, so that's what was cool. Like I was kind of on my own a little bit.
Yeah.
We go to Lake Winnipesaukee out in New Hampshire, and so hang out there. So in Winnipesaukee they had this. It was like a replica of the Green Monster.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you know what I'm talking about.
No idea.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I forgot you're a baseball guy. So.
Like that much.
Yeah. You don't need to know that much.
The big wall.
Yeah, so they had a Green Monster, but it was like a park, like you could go there, and so there was a cover story.
You start talking about it instantly, it was a park. All of a sudden, there was a park.
Yeah, you hit it out of the park.
You hit it out of the park, you go down there. All right, go on.
Yeah. So on the front page of the Winnipesaukee Times, there was a story about Dan Feeney, who was the only one to hit it over the Green Monster in a game. So my cousin, who was older, he was like 3 years older than me, Mikey, he's like, I'm gonna beat him. I'm beating his record. So he would drag me down there, and I'd have to pitch to him for hours. I never got to bat. Yeah, just pitching him as he tried to hit the ball over the Green Monster, and it was deep, you know.
Wow.
And this I think after. It was all just to beat Dan Feeney's record of 1. This had like hours, and he finally did it.
He did do it?
Yeah, he did it.
I
think he ended up getting 2. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, Dan Feeney, if you're out there, I feel like someday I'm gonna meet him. And tell him the story. Yeah.
Slap him.
Exactly. You thought you were so big. The front page. Also, the front page that made too.
Slow news day.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on around
Lake
Winnipesaukee. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What else? Is that the...
So there's a few more. Snow White was a big one, which makes sense. The first animated movie,
and
of
again,
course.
that might even be the technology jump on it, too.
That's true, definitely, yeah. So you can see why that would be. That's aged really well. Exorcist was on there, which I was surprised about.
Wow.
Yeah, which my mom said when she was growing up, I guess they read the book in a day, and it was like, because horror wasn't really a thing like that, it had
that's why it was a big deal.
Yeah.
That's like a thriller, too. That's like
for sure. Yeah. Psychological.
You know what's weird? I even saw a documentary, it was probably VH1, something like that. My parents even saw Deep Throat.
No.
That was like the porn movie that went mainstream.
Yeah, of course. People saw that?
It was in regular, it just went mainstream. So everyone did, I guess we gotta go, and they did.
Check it out.
Yep. It's really funny when something goes like a phenomenon. So Exorcist, I'm sure, day one might not have been it, but then, and things catch like wildfire back then, and it is word of mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's a big deal.
That's hilarious. All these like middle-aged squares kind of uncomfortably.
They're not middle-aged then.
Oh, I guess they were in the 20s or whatever.
Yeah, but
right?
it was a porn movie.
Yeah.
And that's, oh my God.
Like, even now, I wouldn't want to do that. Like go into a theater and.
But back that's the thing.
Yeah,
it was
the
like
novelty.
It's a newer thing, and then this one of them, it becomes.
Right.
It's weird when stuff hits the mainstream. Look, do you remember when the Osbournes actually happened as a reality show when your parents are watching MTV? It made parents watch MTV because the Osbournes.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I think everyone watched.
Yeah, I think we watched a few. Yeah.
Everyone did.
Yeah,
that was on MTV. That was one of the most successful things. That everyone watched it. It was this weird thing. So there's them. They were my mom loved it.
Yeah, you know I think we did watch it. Yeah.
So that was like that. Sometimes something happens. Like I guess I do have to check it out. It doesn't happen as much anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Or there's just too many things. Like I'm told 100 times a month. I get this Netflix show, and I'm like, I can't keep up with it.
Yeah. And someone's gonna tell you, it's the best.
Yeah. No, it can't be. Until next week.
Look, I know. I'll get to it.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
There was a time for a while, and not that I like to give Family Guy credit, but there was a time for a while where, and then Family Guy made fun of it, like as if you turned into a robot. And like, have you ever seen Breaking Bad and The Wire? You have to see Breaking Bad and The Wire. And it's like, yes, okay.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I will try to get to The Wire one of these days.
Yeah. You haven't seen it, huh?
Not The Wire.
Best show ever. Sorry, I know I'm the.
There you go.
I'm not, yeah.
So there's no denying it, but you know what? It's not
great.
Going anywhere.
It's not. And it's, I'm sure it's aged just as well. It's that good of a show.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Talk about them another time. Let's call it
I know. We don't have to talk about The Wire.
Let's talk about movies.
Yeah. So one last one that's on the list is was Saving Private Ryan.
Wow.
Yeah, which I mean I saw that probably 2 or 3 times in the theater.
Still never seen that.
Really? Ooh.
I don't like army movies as much, even though I love Patton. Like I don't know. It just doesn't.
Like Battlefield kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess it just doesn't click as much.
Yeah,
but
it's not for everybody.
It is like a genre.
Yeah.
Like Black Hawk Down was a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I haven't seen this. I guess I like war movies.
Yeah. And I love T. Hanks. Gotta love T. Hanks.
Yeah, T. Hanks is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just never got to it.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Well, someday. The opening scenes are fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing. Still like one of the best war scenes. It's funny, like war movies, if you think about it, that's like they've really changed. Like, remember you'd have like John Wayne, where there's one called like I forget what the name of the movie, but he goes to like Vietnam and he's there's nothing cynical. Like he's just fighting mowing down Vietnamese. But like imagine making a movie like that now. Like you had like we go to Iraq and like
no, because it's different.
No one would see that. Yeah, but it's just weird. It's like war movies have that kind of more. I guess it shows that we've evolved a bit in understanding war, but it's more usually about the
war has changed.
Individuals. That's true, right? It's not this.
Like again,
we're going into
talk about Game of Thrones real quick, just to talk about, and it's not TV.
Yeah,
it's HBO. So with Game of Thrones, like. When you have armies line up and they're okay, the general's gonna be. It's like, why doesn't he just stab? Because you can't.
Sure.
Because it's not the way it works.
Right. There were international.
It's like this is how it works. And we
definitely.
still have those. Like we have internet. Oh, you're on international waters or international lands.
Excuse me, where is your drummer?
Yeah, like that's that's the thing. It was a big deal when America ambushed people on Christmas. George Washington does that.
Right.
Because it was like looked at as like. Wait a minute, you can't break the rules.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, hang on a sec there. Yep, because there were like rules. And since then, that's why it was a big deal what guerrilla warfare is. That's when you can't trust whether it's a village.
Well, there were even more, I mean, I think the rules like World War II maybe kind of changed that dynamic. Because I've read about like World War I a bit where there still were those kind of like...
It's the difference between a ground war.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and now we don't even fight nations anymore anyway. I mean, we're not fighting like other armies.
Satellite drones.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about.
So it's reflected in our
war!
but it reflects our entertainment, or our entertainment reflects reality.
Yes.
Like you see that subtle change in the attitudes towards war. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like you have movies like Jarhead and stuff like that about like bored soldiers or guys coming back from war and being messed up. Like I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Things have changed a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Saving Private Ryan was like kind of one of the last like, you know, kind of patriotic sort of movies. Dunkirk was a bit too. I don't know if you saw that one.
I heard of that.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
But if you don't like war movies,
Yeah.
you know, not for you.
It's not my genre.
Yeah.
Not my genre.
What do you think about taking a dip?
I actually am probably going to go run to the movies because you know
Are you?
what?
Did I get you? Oh, it's tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to see this tonight.
Oh,
This is
okay.
what's happening.
All right, excited.
The season.
What time you get your tickets?
Done.
You
I'm
okay?
prepared. This
Okay.
movie's playing every 45 minutes.
Yeah, when I saw Black
insane.
Panther. I like Black Panther a lot. Is he in that?
Yes.
Oh, he's in there. Okay, I like
Oh,
it.
it
He was cool.
That was
So that one was like every hour or 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. This is nonstop. I
Yeah.
can't wait. It's gonna be a good time going to the movies. Honestly, the trailers started 20 minutes ago, so it's a 15-minute ride. I should be there before the first commercial's over, and then the movie will
Right, the
probably
Sprite
start.
commercial that
Yeah,
they tell
and
you,
giant popcorns.
Sure.
And it's a roller coaster. You get a little nauseous. And then there'll be the other weird previews, and then probably a mini film before made by someone who won a Coca-Cola contest.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie will start in about an hour. So
Sure, you get one of them.
Yeah.
It's
I
safe.
could
You can
probably walk.
Right, and you bring your own bag of popcorn. I know. I've
Yeah,
seen you with
that's the way
that.
to
You
do
know,
I like to
you
lug 'em.
carry you carry like Santa Claus in there.
That's right. I buy it from a truck and I just go right in like a garbage bag. You know, that being said, I might have time for a dip and actually to maybe to lay out even more.
All right, yeah.
Trailers
Why
take
not?
forever.
They do, and they give away the whole movie these days. Come on.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Movie time.
Let's do it.
Summer movies. Casual Friday. It's a good time.
Blockbuster.
I love it. Oh, Blockbuster season. Yeah.